Hi, I'm Jamie, and welcome to Teachers Tech, and welcome to my beginner's class on Microsoft PowerPoint. Today, in this Microsoft PowerPoint tutorial, we'll start with the basics. So even if you've never used this before, you can start here, and then we'll build all the way up so that you're making a very impressive looking Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, and you'll feel comfortable presenting that. Not only will it look professional, you're going to have a lot of fun creating this as we go along too. Let's move down to the search feature here on Windows, and I'm just going to go ahead and start typing PowerPoint. You can see it's already here because I've opened it up recently, but if I just start typing power, it's right here. If I know I'm going to be using this a lot, I can go ahead and pin it to my taskbar. So if I right click on this, I can go pin to taskbar and take a look. Now it's down here. If you don't want it here, you can right click on it again, and I can also unpin it. I'm going to go ahead and just click on PowerPoint from here, and you're going to see it pop up. Right away, it's going to ask me to actually sign in here. So maybe you're just opening this for the first time on your computer. You need to connect it to an account. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Do you have a work account or school account that you could log in with this? So I'm going to go ahead and get signed in here. So if I scroll down, I'm going to go sign in or create an account at this point. So after this, then you're going to see all the features unlock. Now let's go through just our different views that we're seeing. And if I take a look over on the panel over here, we have our home view, our new view, and our open view. With the home view, what we're seeing, and we can start our blank presentation here. Notice that if we wanted to get a little bit more real estate of just the down below, we can do that. We also get our templates or themes in here, which are great to save you a lot of time, and they have a great look, but it's good to learn the basics first because then you can go back and manipulate them after, but definitely take a look at them. If you go to more themes here, notice it moved over to the new view here. We can go through and see different few more here, but we can also do a search in here, and they have suggested ones that you can go through and just click on, and then it will just look based on what that category was. Under the, if I go back to home again, down here, you're going to see the most recent PowerPoint. So if you want to quickly open up one of the ones you've been working on, you can go and just click on it. We have our pinned. So with our pinned, it allows us to quickly get to an important one, and we can make things pinned very quickly. So if I go to recent and I say over this dog one, I could go ahead and just hit the pin here. As soon as I do that now, if I go to pinned, you can see I have two, and I can unpin them as well if I don't want them in there. Over here, we have shared with me. So in this case, I can see that Ashton shared this PowerPoint with me that I was working on here. So, and it gives me the time and date that happened as well. So just a little bit about the home view here. We already were in the new view, and notice we can start our blank presentations from here too. And if you were looking through maybe on your computer in different places to open, if I go to open here, where do I want to open the PowerPoint from? I can go over here and open, notice that this shows me the dates and everything in here, and I can go down the list. I can open from OneDrive. I can even open from this PC here. So if I go ahead and click on it, double click, it opens up, and I can go find something on my computer here. But what we're going to do here is just start from a blank presentation here. And you notice right away, I'm greeted with this. And what we're seeing is our title slide. It just defaults this way. And on the left-hand side, we're seeing a thumbnail of the same thing. So if I type in something here, notice that it shows up on the thumbnail. So this is just the default that happens with the very first. All this is customizable. But before we get to creating our slideshow, what I want to do is to give a little quick walk around what we're seeing up top here. And we can see here, these are different tabs, and Microsoft products work the same whether you're in Microsoft Word or Excel or different ones. You're going to see tabs across the top here. So these are categories of tabs. And then inside the tab, what we see is the ribbon. So if I ever say take a look at the ribbon, I'm saying take a look in here. Then inside the ribbon, we actually have groups. So here is a font group or a paragraph group. Notice if I click in an area, this is highlighted now because I can use this here. So these are all the different font ones, but you can even expand it a little bit more. Inside this group, we can get this here. So if I open it up, gives you even more options that they couldn't fit in the ribbon on this group. So that's just some terminology that we have here. We do have quick access here up top here. So these are little quick links that we can customize up here. Towards the end, I'll show you how to do some customization of the ribbon or the tabs as well, just so if you find something that you just want to quickly click on. Before we go any further, it's always good to save your PowerPoint, and we can do this in a couple different ways. I could just hit the save right here. So notice that we have the save. And if I go back to file, we have save here or save as. So if I was going to hit save or save as, notice it comes to the same one. And where should I save this to? Well, I could save it to OneDrive or I could save it to this PC, depending on what you want. If you save it to OneDrive, this allows you to be sharing with other people. Then you can access it from any computer as well, too. And the sharing option is nice because I can share it with other people in my organization and we can work together collaboratively in live time. But if you just want to save it on your computer, you can just go here and we could pick a spot. So if we had something on here that we wanted to do, you could go find a folder that you can put it in, and then we can just save it like so. Hit save, and now that's saved on my computer, and then the name came up right here. Okay, so now that we have this saved and we are ready to go with creating our slideshow. First of all, I don't want to call this presentation hello, so I'm going to make this change right away. I'm just going to click in this text box here and delete this just by hitting delete on my keyboard. You could backspace it. I'm going to call this pause for success, keeping with my dog theme. And in this cell where it says subtitle, I'm actually going to paste something in. So I copied it on a different sheet. I'm going to go Control V here, just like this, mastering dog training techniques. So we have our title slide set up. We'll come back, add images later. But first of all, I want to show you how you can add new slides. So to add new slides, if you look at the Home tab right up here, and then you look onto the ribbon here into the group Slides. If I go ahead and click it up here, it automatically adds a new slide. You notice that it's slightly different. This is a title slide, which has the title and a subtitle. This one now has the title up here, and click to add text here. We can change this, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But let's say we wanted to add another slide. If I go ahead, click here, I can choose the layout this time. So if I wanted to go to this right here, I can click on it, and then I have my third slide, but this time I've chosen what I wanted as the format. Another way you can do it, whenever you get, wherever you're selected, so if I'm between these two slides, if I just hit enter, it adds the slide. And then I can change the format after. So what I mean by, notice it just gave me the title with the text down below. I could go up top into the slide here, into the slide group, and I can make a change up here. Do I want this to be a comparison? And now the layout is changed here. If I right click on any of these slides and I get different options. So at this point, I could change my layout and do what I want here. So if I wanted to content, and caption, it makes those changes. The other thing I want to point out, you can add your new slides from here too. So if I wanted my new slide, I could pick it from here. We can also delete our slides as well. Now, let's say if you have a slide that you really like and you only want to tweak something and you don't want to have to do the same thing, I could make a duplicate of it. So if I go to this, we can go duplicate here. So if I duplicate it, it gives me the exact same slide again. I could go ahead and hit delete on my keyboard like this. But if you ever want to undo, remember it's Control Z, like so. We'll undo the last step, or else we do have undo up top in this quick access here. So I can undo or redo again those ways. So those are some ways that you can create new slides, delete the slides, and even change the layout before you even get started. I have a title for my PowerPoint here, but I want to go ahead and just put a title for each slide of these 4. And I can go ahead and add more slides after, but just for helping with organization, I'm going to go and put, I'm going to put a chart on this one. On this one, I'm going to go ahead and put some quotes on here. And on this one, I'm going to put SmartArt. So SmartArt is a way to taking something like a boring list and it just in a few clicks make something really graphically pleasant to look at. And now what I want to show you though, so I have these four named, I can change the order very quickly. So if I wanted quotes to be before chart, I can just drag it up like this. So I can change the order just by simply dragging them around. So even if you put all your ideas on your your titles just for helping organization, then you can drag them into spots after. You can also select multiple ones. So if I was selecting 3 and 4, if I hold Shift down as I select 4, notice they're both highlighted. I can drag these two up and drop them in between. So if you get a lot of different slides, that's one way that you can grab multiple ones and do it that way. Now, if you wanted to select different ones not in an order, try holding Control down. So if I was holding 4, if I click 4 and hold Control on my keyboard and click 1, now I can select those two even though they're not next to each other and still drag those around. I'm just going to undo that last step, but just some ways to help manage and organize where your slides will go. Now, it's almost time to start adding some design to this, and this is what I love about PowerPoint is how quickly this can happen. But before we do that, what I want to do is actually resave this to the cloud, to OneDrive. I'm going to go up here where it says hello because I don't want this called hello anymore. If I go, this is on my computer right now, I can go ahead and hit upload, say where I wanted to go to select my location. It's going to upload it to the cloud, even though I started it on my computer. I don't want this called hello. So at this time, now it's uploaded. I'm just going to call this pause for success. So I'll just do that right up here and I'm going to hit enter. Notice everything's updated and now this is being saved in the cloud. And remember, do check out that my tutorial on Microsoft OneDrive so you learn more about saving to it. Now let's move over to the design tab up here. And this is where we can quickly make some changes. And the first thing we're going to look at is over here to the right, the format background. And I'm just going to select this and you're going to get this opens up right here. I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Now, with this, what we can do, if you just wanted to have one color changed on this, you can go have solid fill. I could select a color. Let's say I wanted red. And just like that, I have that changed. I can apply this to all slides. So if I hit apply all, it goes right through. I'm going to go Control Z to undo that last spot. Now I could go back. I could pick a different color if I want or change it back to what it was. Now we do have things like gradient and we can change all these different. So right now with all the gradient stops in here, I could add more just by clicking and then I can select a color. And then what you'll notice is that it changes based on which one I pick, and I can drag this also, and you can see how it adjusts. So you can have a lot of fun playing with the gradient, and then you can even change the direction, or depending on what type of option you want from all this. So lots of different options, and you can go play with the gradient stops. We have our picture, our texture field. So if we want to, you can see this is a texture in here. If we wanted it different, we could go ahead and insert a picture source. So is it going to be from a file, from stock images? And you can go ahead and try these by doing a search for this, or we could do a pattern fill very quickly, pick a pattern for this, or we could hide background graphics if we want. So, but what I'm going to do is actually not even use any of these here. So I'm going to go back and just turn it back to what we had at the very beginning and close out of this format background. Because if we take a look at the themes here, we can go ahead and drop down here and we can hover over and we get an idea of how things change just by hovering over. So these are themes that we can be using. So once you find one that you like, and we can always change this after. So if I go ahead and select this one, now I can choose a variant from within this. So if I drop down now, I can choose a color that I want. I can even pick my own. So notice I don't have to choose for what they have. I can get more customization. Even my font, I can choose from here. So if I wanted this right here, and then the font changed from there. So you can start to make these all up on your own as you go through, but it's nice to start from that theme and then making the change from there. Now, the other thing I just want to point out is the designer. So with the designer, take a look at this. Because it's called Pause for Success and has mastering dog training techniques, it came up with some ideas for me. So which one of these would I want to use? As I scroll down, you can see the different ones. I'm going to choose this. I like this one here. So at this point, I'm going to choose this. I can close out of this, and I haven't really done very much, is just gone to the design tab, picked a theme, did some customization, and then to designer, and I already have a good start now. At any time, you can customize the font on any slide. If I was just going to go in here, if I click maybe once, you can see how the flashing cursor inside here, a double click and a triple click. So a double click lets me select the word, and a triple click lets me select everything in it. And then I can go apply. If I wanted the different font, I could drop down, choose it, choose a different size. I could format the color and all these things. Do I want it bold, underlined, and so on? Now, this right here is the same thing if I have it selected. If I look up into my home tab in my ribbon under the font grouping, I can make all those changes as well. And remember, when I showed you, you can expand a few more and get all the different options here too. So just some different ways you can customize your own font after that. I'm just going to go Control Z to get it back to where I was. The other thing I want to show you, if you ever want to make your own custom theme, if you go up to View over here, and then you go to look here, Slide Master. Slide Master allows you to do this. I'm not going to get into it on this video, but I do have a separate video that explains how you can go through and use Slide Master to make your own theme and add it. So I'll just put that to the link up above in the card and down below in the description. But let's go now and try to add some images to our slide. Let's move over to the Insert tab right here, and then take a look at the ribbon at all the different things that you can insert here. Now, I'm not going to go through all these things in this tutorial, but I just want to show you that you could put a table in. We're going to focus on pictures, a chart, and SmartArt. But let's go ahead and put a picture in first. So I'm going to go ahead and just select picture. And where's it going to come from? This device, stock images, or online pictures? I'm going to say this device. Let's say I have something saved on my computer here, and I have this picture of my dog and the kids sitting here. And as soon as I do this, it's uploading to here. What I like how fast this does this is look at the designer over here. So what is it that I want to use? Maybe I want to choose this one here. So now I've personalized it. I've used designer to quickly make some changes to it. And I didn't really have to do anything at all. Notice when I'm have a picture inserted like this, I get more options. We can remove the background. So if I hit remove the background, and this wasn't a great picture to do it because of all the grass, I can go ahead and quickly do this. Now, if I go ahead and I don't want to keep the changes or discard, you can see I can discard all the changes. But there's lots of different things I can apply to this. If I look at the if I wanted to do any of these corrections to it, I can scroll through and apply this to it. It makes that change, and I can undo it if I don't want. Do I want it more transparent? And I like how easy it is to see what everything's doing just when they give you those live examples, artistic effects. So go ahead and play with some of these that you can quickly change up. And remember, you can always go Control Z for any of these. But now on the next slide, what I want to do is add some more images. But I want to point out on the slide, you get these quick shortcuts here that you can use too. So stock images, I can go ahead and insert things from this point. So if I click on pictures, right from here, it just gives me this search. So in this case, if I was looking for dogs, I can go ahead and do this and choose one of these dogs. So I have full access to this because of my license that I have for this. If I was going to go pick this dog right here, I can go and place this dog in here. I could go and try if I wanted to remove the background now. I could go up, click remove the background, And I can also mark areas to move or to keep. So if I wanted to add some more, if I was going to go and just do this to this, you can see how it gets closer and closer as I go through each one. And I'm just going to draw like this. And when I like what I get, I can go keep. And then that gets a little bit better. But I'm doing it pretty quickly, and I want the whole thing. So I'm just going to go discard all changes and come back. But I wanted to show you how quick you can remove the background to this. I can size these, move them around. I can move this on the rotation here. If you wanted to do a picture style, you can see how I get the mirror down below. I can put the frame on. Everything is so easy with these simple clicks, and then you can go ahead and customize more of any of these just by looking through these different features. Now I'm going to go back a couple steps to just where I had it before, different ways where I could add pictures, and I have a folder on my desktop right here. If I go ahead and open this up, I can drag pictures right in here as well. So if I was going to go and drag this in, then now I have another picture. And I'm going to drag one more in. We'll say this one right here. And here's my third picture. So I put 3 pictures in and I haven't done anything with it. And already the designer's giving me some options here to put here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one right here. And everything lines up very nicely, and it's keeping with the font theme that I had before. And I can approve just like this. So that's how easy it is to bring images in, make any changes to it as well. Now, I need to make a change to this because I want my quote on here rather than the SmartArt. So I'm just going to go and type my quote here. I'm going to go and paste my quote here. So if I go and right click, I get some paste options. I could paste it just like this. Notice that it comes through here, but it's still not matching with the color and the font that I want. How do you correct this in a hurry? Go to Designer. If you want to keep everything kind of matching here, notice that I can have some different options of how to quickly change this if you see something that looks a little bit better. So if I go down, I'm going to say I like this one now here. So I have the quote underneath and then the 3 pictures this way. Now I'm going to enter a new slide for my SmartArt. So I'm just going to go in between 2 and 3, hit enter. And I'm going to choose a different format rather than this too. So if I right click, I can change my layout. I'm just going to go to a title and content, and I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to close down my designer, and maybe I'll choose to change this later. But now, what do I want to title this? Well, this is going to be the essential dog training commands. And I'm just going to go and paste this in here. I had an extra space, and I'm going to insert my SmartArt down here. Now, first of all, if I just placed a list, so if I'm going to put in a list here, and just to compare the differences that between the SmartArt and the list. So here I have this list. You can see it's just 5 different training commands. Yes, it works, but graphically and everything, it doesn't look very good. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to cut this here. So I'm just going to go Control X here. Oops, I'm going to cut this actually this way, and I'm going to place in a SmartArt. I'm going to go click here, but another way you could do it under Insert, like I showed you before, all the inserts, we have SmartArt. So you can choose what you want. If I go to SmartArt here, I get all these different graphics that I can choose from, these categories. I'm under All, so that shows them all. For this one that I'm going to do, it's more of a list, and I'm going to choose this here. So, and then out of all these are kind of connecting to a list and gives you kind of a description here. I'm going to choose this one because I like how these ones you can put the images here. And I'm just going to hit OK. Now the text pops open right here. So this is the text pane. If you don't see this, this is up here. So take a look, making sure you're under the Smart Design, because as soon as we did the SmartArt, we have this Smart Design tab now if we're clicked in it, and we want the text pane open, because if you click it again, it goes away. I'm going to be pasting that list right into here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything in this area here, and now I just have the one spot, and I'm going to go ahead and go Control V and put it back. So look at that right there. It put all the top level ones. So here's sit, stay, come, heel, down, and then it put the next one inside. So already it's looking a lot better. Now, inside of this here, we can go ahead and make more if we wanted to change the looks. If we go back to our SmartArt design, you can click on these to get a different look real quickly, drop down, see all the different options here that you can do just with a simple clicks, and then reset it to go back to normal. I think I'm going to stay with this one right here. Now, the only other thing I really want to do on this one is add some images across here. And you can see there's a little picture here. This means this is where I can place them. So I could go ahead and select from stock images, and I'll just do the first one as an example, and then I'll fill them in. If I'll search for my dogs, I can go and pick a picture from here and insert. And there it is. Now I want to show you how you can insert a chart. So if I go to insert, you're going to see chart is below SmartArt or it's right here. So you can select either or. I'm just going to select this, and for this purpose, I'm going to use a line one right here. And you can see there's different options here that I could choose. I'm just going to stick with the basic one here that they started with and hit OK. So I can go ahead now and I'll bring this up here. So it kind of gives me, you notice this looks like a little bit like Microsoft Excel here. And we just have to plunk our data in. And I'm going to kind of just copy paste this over. So I have a training progression data set, and I'm just going to paste it right into here. I'm not going to have a series 3. There's only going to be the 2 series. So what I'm doing in this column is deleting this column, clearing it out. So I only have the 2 different ones. This is all the different weeks, and you can see as it goes through each week, the success should go up as they practice it more. So pretty simple, and the chart should reflect this, and I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. You probably want to have a title on this slide as well. So if I could do it under the chart up here, or I could go back into the chart. I could just paste it in just like this and put it at this. Just like I showed you before, when we go to format, different parts, even slides, this is format chart. When I double clicked in here, it came up, and we can go through and start to change all these different things. I'm not going to go through those different options now, but notice we have text option. The way I like to edit the charts to get a different look is to use the chart styles up here. So if I go and just start looking, if I wanted something with maybe with a little bit more contrast in it, easier to see, but I can click on different ones and get an idea. So you pick the one that works the best for you. And then we have this chart inserted inside of here, but you can still click on the different parts and start making formatting. We can go and add some other, if we wanted other chart elements, we could go and click them on or off, depending what you want here. So as I hover over it, you can see how it shows me what it's going to be if I want that added to the chart. So some quick ways to add a chart just to make your data more interesting than just typing it out to read the numbers. Now I went ahead and added another quote slide here with a couple of pictures. I want to show you how we can insert a few more things. And let's start with the text box. I want to add some text right here. If we're under the insert, we have text box here, and I can select text box. I can draw a text box wherever I would like and write whatever I want. These text boxes, when I select them, I can get the handle. You can see the handle as I hover over the line here. If I click and hold on my mouse, I can move it to different places. Now, another thing that we can insert are shapes. So if I go to my insert, we have all these different shapes that we can go ahead and add. Now, if I wanted to, let's say, add the star, I could go select it. And as soon as I have this selected, I have this shape format. And just like I showed you before, we can go and pick all these shape styles. We can choose our colors, have an outline, and make all these quick changes to it. So you can add that. If we wanted text in here, I could double click and I can start typing away. Now, sometimes when we add images or text boxes or shapes like this, we might want to change the order that things are showing. So if I wanted this not to be on top. See, it's on top of both pictures. I can click on it. If I go right click, I can bring to front or send to back. So if I go here, send to back, I could go backward or backwards. I'll send to back. If I do it once, nothing happens. If I go ahead and do it again, it goes to the back. So you can see if you wanted to change different ones. So if I wanted this to the back, I could go send back, and now we have this one is on top of here, but below this one. So you can work with different layers. With these shapes too, if you take a look with anything, you're gonna notice up at the top under picture format or even your shape format, we have our bring forward, send back up in the ribbon as well under that shape format. With any of the objects on a slide, I can add animation to. If I look at animation on the tab right here, if I move over to it, notice they're all grayed out. That's because I haven't selected anything to add animation to. As soon as I click an object, so an object could be this picture, now I have some options. I can go and add animation. I can go through and look at this row or drop down and see all the different options. So let's say if I choose bounce on this one, it gives me a preview here of what that would look like. Now I'm going to go to this one, this hello, and I'm going to add fly in. So now I have this. I actually have two different animations happening here. If I hit preview, it shows me what it's looking like. If I select each of these here, notice I can do some different things. Now, when is this going to happen? On a click. So if I click my mouse, it will go that's when it will apply the animation. With previous, after previous. So this will be dependent on what you choose. Be careful with presenting with animation. Too many animations can make it tricky and just almost too much sometimes. Some animation is nice, but use it kind of in the right places. Don't overdo it with it. I'm just going to say add another one here. Let's say on this hello. I can click on have this selected. I can make this animation appear. So now I have a third one here, and we're going to go with this title as well. I'm just going to click on the line here to have this selected. I can go and add animation this way too. I'm going to say zoom, and then that's my fourth one. My preview here shows all the different animation that's happening to this slide. If I go ahead and look at the animation pane, this shows me right here. I can change the order of any of these. So now this fourth one is selected. If I have it, you can see on the drop down, I can make some different options here as well, but I can move earlier. I can't move later because it's already at the end, but I can move it up. So now if I hit preview for this one, it's going to change where it comes in for that animation. So just some little bit about animation, adding them, and remember not to overdo them. So we've added some animation. What I want to add next are transitions. Transitions happen between the slides, and it makes the experience much more smoother for the viewer. So if I just go up to transitions now, I can pick different ones, and you can play around with what you like. Like always, you can drop down and see all the different ones. If I go and choose, let's say morph, it will show me it gives me the preview of it. And now if I look over here, do I want a sound when this happens? Do I want how long the transition to happen? I can up that, and I can apply this to all. Also, when do I want to have this happen? If I'm presenting, is it on a mouse click or is it after a certain amount of time? So all these things you can adjust. I'm just going to stick with this one right here, this transition, and apply to all, because now I want to get ready to present it to show you what it looks like with the transitions. When you're ready to present your PowerPoint, take a look at the tabs here and go to Slideshow. This is where I can present from the beginning or from a current slide. I'm just going to choose from beginning. If you have one monitor set up, you're going to see this right here. So this allows you to go to the next slide with a single click if I wanted to. But if you take a look down below, I have controls here that I can move forward in either direction. I can hover over and then they appear, and then I can bring it back. I can also use the arrows to move forward on my keyboard, or even my space bar will do the same thing. Another thing you can do is use a laser pointer. So if I right click on this and then go to laser pointers right here. I have some different options, some highlighters, some pens. If I go to laser pointer, and then if I'm showing something like a graph, I can be pointing to certain parts of it. Now, if you have dual monitor, it might look more like this. So this is your view with dual monitors from the computer you're presenting on, not what the audience sees. So this is a great way to present because it shows you the slide that you're on right here, the next slide that's coming, and any notes that you have. I'll show you how to do a couple of notes in a moment because they're handy to have when you're presenting. You can go through by just clicking to the next one, and you're always one step ahead so you know what's coming up. You can see the different options down here that we have that I showed you before that you can just connect through this way as well. If you're all done, you can go to end the slideshow and it will go back to your slide like this. So some different ways that you can present. Now, how do I get those notes to my PowerPoint? Take a look at the very bottom. We have notes right here. So if I just click on this, I get the space underneath, and I'm just going to stretch this out. So notice how my mouse changes. I'm just going to stretch this up so I have more space for notes. I can go and put my notes here. So I could be, don't forget to say whatever you want. So I'll just add, don't forget. Now, if I want to present this, and I'm going to go to this right here. So this is another shortcut for slideshow. If I just click here, it will present. Now, take a look at my notes where I just wrote. So it says, don't forget. So I could have different things to mention that aren't on the screen that I want to make sure that I say. If you're not giving a live presentation, you can record your PowerPoint and turn it into a video to share that way. I'm going to go over to record the tab here and notice that I can record from beginning or current slide. I'm going to go from beginning. I'm going to get some options. You're going to notice that here I am on my PowerPoint as part of it. I can have the webcam on or off. I can go up top and just turn it off and you're not going to see me depending what you want. And you have the same option with the mics. When you're ready to record, you can just go ahead and hit the start recording, and then it's going to record as you go through. And you'll notice that you have the different annotation tools and everything down below, and you can go to the next slide here. When you're all done, you can hit export, and it's going to turn this into a video here that you can share as an MP4 file. Since this PowerPoint is saved in my OneDrive, I can quickly share it with others. Maybe I want them to make some changes or just to view it. I can go up to the share up top here and just click the share. Notice I could copy the link also, but I'm going to go to share, and this allows me to put people here. So if I start typing other people, maybe part of my organization, I can add them here. What do I want to have them? Is it just to view it, or do I want them to make edits? At this point, I can write a message here and send it, and they're going to get an email that this has been shared with them, and also in their OneDrive that they're going to see it, and also in their PowerPoint shared with me. So some quick ways to work with others to collaborate. I hope this video will help you out getting started with PowerPoint and creating those first presentations and making them look great. Stay tuned for my intermediate class on this, where we dive in even more, where we look at just different ways to make your PowerPoints more effective and more visually stunning. Thanks for watching this time on Teachers Tech. I'll see you next time with more tech tips and tutorials.